the front hip pocket. After you've cut out your pattern pieces, you are going to take the pocket facing and the garment front. So this is your garment front, and this is the pocket facing. Place the pocket facing on top of the front with right sides together, lining up the curved edge of the pocket and the top edge and the side. Pin that together and stitch it with 1/4 of an inch. After you stitch it, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to make small little clips about every inch or so along the curved edge of the pocket. So those little cuts allow the fabric to spread out and form the shape of the curve. Step number 5, understitch. The first thing you need to do when you understitch is to press this pocket facing away from the garment. That's on the top, and then check on the bottom that the seam allowance is pressed towards the pocket facing. Next, with the garment and the pocket facing nice and flat, you're going to stitch along the edge of this curve. And when you, with that stitch, you're stitching the seam allowance. So it's called understitching because the next step is where you roll that pocket facing to the back, and on the outside of the garment you do not see any stitching. You only see the stitching on the wrong side or under the garment. Step number 7. 6 was rolling the pocket to the wrong side of the garment. 7 is taking the pocket backing and you place it underneath the garment using your notches to line everything up, and you line up this curved edge of the pocket facing and the pocket backing, and you pin that. So after you get those raw edges lined up, you pin this around the curve, and you continue that pinning all the way around the curve. And the next step is where you're stitching it, step 8. So using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, you stitch around this curved edge of the pocket. Step 9, flip the garment around to the front, and you stitch across the top edge of the garment and along the side. That's a temporary stitch because later when you are finishing your garment, you would be adding a waistband, sewing your side seam.